Welcome to Indiana Sports Beat Radio.
So for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Time!
Three on the way. Oh! It went in! It went in! And Indiana wins the ball game!
Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni!
Float game for the win! Taylor's gone. Goodbye. Touchdown, Indy. Woo! IU. America. They got a football team now.
It's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
Now, here's Jim Coyle.
Bundle up, boys and girls. It is cold outside. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you. Appreciate you being with us on this chilly Tuesday. Speaking of chili, I made some chili last week, but yeah, glad to have that. But more importantly, glad to have you along with us as the snow has fallen again. It's the second time we've had a little snow precipitation. Last time it was gone pretty quickly, but we're not going to be gone at least for a little bit. So appreciate you being with us on the program today. Looking forward to talking to Mike DeCourcy, JD Campbell joining us, and special guest Lavar Keys, one of Indiana's big time recruits coming in for football next season. Big flip from Penn State, wide receiver. Looking forward to talking to him. We'll hear from Ryan Day, probably Curt Cignetti, maybe Fernando. You know, I'm starting the campaign that Fernando only needs one name now. It's Fernando. I mean, that's a one-name name, right? Fernando. Sounds like a Saturday Night Live skit. Speaking of skits, no skits here today, boys and girls. Just cold and snow, but that's what this time of the year is for. The college football playoff poll, the penultimate poll, out tonight, as the final poll comes out next week. What changes do you expect? I'm gonna be curious. There's little changes in there in the 4, 5, 6 area. See what they do. Ole Miss. Now, there's going to be a lot of chatter about the Ole Miss thing. Lane Kiffin gone, obviously, to LSU. They're not going to let him coach Ole Miss in the playoffs. And I think that is stupid, but I get it. I get both arguments. I saw Scott Van Pelt saying, you know what? Hey, if that's, if you're in a relationship, it was the greatest. It was actually kind of a perfect analogy, but he said, if you're in a relationship and you're breaking up, but you want to come over for Christmas to hang out with the family, no, I don't want anything to do with you right now. So I get that. But on the other side, do you want to win? What's more important? Winning, blah, blah. So we'll see. It usually doesn't work out well when you see interim coaches, coordinators, whatnot, on bowl games and et cetera. We've just seen that time and time again go by the wayside. Hell, we saw it for Indiana a couple of times. So Brian says he started looking for Orange Bowl tickets just in case. Hey, you know what? The Orange Bowl is not as far off as it would have seemed, 3 weeks ago, because we're in trying to ascertain where everybody's going to go. At the end of the day, you just don't freaking know, because they should go to the Rose Bowl if they win the Big Ten championship. Then they should have gone to the Cotton Bowl if they had been runner-up. Now, what happens if they end up being the number 2 seed? Does that change anything? But what if Texas Tech ends up being the 4th seed, the Cotton Bowl is going to want Texas Tech and that would make sense, which would ultimately ship the runner-up of the Big Ten to the Orange Bowl. A lot of people are assuming that's going to be Indiana. I'm not going to make that assumption, but so there you go. It's a lot. There's just a lot of possibilities out there, a lot of facets, a lot of ins and outs to the situation. But when the poll comes out, that's going to help us, kind of, not really, because Indiana's getting a bye. You can just pretty much count on that happening. Win, lose, or draw, they're going to have a bye. Do they end up with the 2nd seed or the 3rd seed or even the 4th seed? I don't know. But as strong as these teams are, and as strongly as they have made it to the end of the regular season undefeated, they don't deserve to be dinged. I don't think either one of them deserve to be dinged with a loss to one or the other. So it's going to be interesting. We'll talk to Mike DeCourcy about it when he joins us, of course. Get his thoughts as it's going to continue to be a fun postseason. Who makes it? There's going to be some teams that are not happy. There's going to be some teams that don't get in. I mean, I feel bad for BYU. BYU is one loss, pretty damn good season in the Big 12, pretty good conference. And now, not only are they looking at potentially not making the CFP, but guess what? They're going to lose Mr. Kaliamaki, Mr. Kaliamaka. What's the that's the Christmas word? I can't remember the song. It's from Christmas Vacation. Kaliamaka. Anyway, BYU coach looks like he's headed to Penn State. That's another thing. Oh my, get your scorecards out. Who's where? James Madison's coach to UCLA. How about James Madison? Boy, oh boy, you got to feel bad for them. Their last 2 coaches, gone. Both to the Big Ten, where they'll be facing each other within a season or so. Indiana doesn't play UCLA for another, is it 2 years after this? Since they played them back-to-back seasons? I just looked at the schedule. So it'll be a couple of years, but how about the irony there? The longtime coach, James Madison, taking on the coach who replaced him at James Madison. UCLA, man, that's a bold move by Bob Chesney. You got to say, because unless UCLA is coming with something more than a job opportunity, I'd be a little worried. They don't, where's the NIL? What do you bring in behind besides that? Besides a job offer? Because there's a reason why these coaches have gone by the wayside out there. How about Lincoln Riley out at USC? I mean, come on. Oregon's hanging in there, but Oregon's got money. Oregon's got Phil Knight money. So does that make Oregon good, or just Oregon's good at being able to bring in better players? But you know what? They're not kicking anybody else's butt. They've got more money than anybody, I would say. But yet they're not destroying anybody in recruiting. Not that they're not doing quite well. They are, but it's not like they're number one with a big gap between them. Lots more coming up. Got to take us a break. Man, we've got all kinds of stuff to get to today. We'll hear from the coaches, the players. Our buddy Mike. TSN Mike. Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News should be joining us next. Back with plenty more on the other side, right after these messages.
Andy Moore Honda is Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer for a reason. Buy a new Honda and get a 3-month break from car payments. That's right, no payments for 90 days. That includes the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue, and you get it for just 0.9% financing. Or the 2024 Honda Ridgeline Black Edition or the Honda Accord LX, both for just 1.9% financing. Get more to your door from AndyMooreHonda.com, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer and your best place for new and used vehicles. If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemooreSells@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today.
Huddle up, football fans. Tailgate season is here, and nobody gets you ready for game day like Academy Sports and Outdoors. Swing by your local Academy store or shop online at academy.com to find everything you need, from grills to jerseys and more. Be a watch party legend with gear from top brands like Nike and Under Armour, all at unbeatable prices every day. With 8 Academy stores across Indiana, including our Bloomington location, fun can't lose, and neither can you. Gear up today at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Zach Browning here to tell you about an offer you simply can't pass up. If you're looking for the best coverage of Indiana football and basketball, which includes recruiting, weekly chats, podcasts, as well as access to the best national team out there, then look no further than thehoosier.com. The best part, it's just $1 for the first week. Oh, and did I mention that you get a full year of access to The Athletic when you sign up? You can't beat the coverage, and you can't beat the deal. So head over to thehoosier.com today and sign up for just $1. It'll be the best decision you ever made.
Sure, thanks. It's just got done with the team meeting with our players, and they're very, very excited to go back to Indianapolis. It's one of the things that's on our list of goals during the season is get to Indianapolis and win the Big Ten championship. So, our guys are excited to do that, and our coaching staff is excited to do that. Certainly have a great opponent in Indiana, and it's always a great atmosphere. Playing at Lucas Oil. And I know it'll be the same way Saturday night.
All right, as a reminder, if you would like to ask a question, please raise your hand in.
Joining us, we don't need to raise hands. We don't need to raise no stinking hands. Mike, how are you? That was Ryan Day for all of you joining us there out of the break, talking about this weekend's festivities coming up. And Mike, did you realize the last time that Ohio State made the Big Ten championship game, what year that was?
Well, I'm going to say 2000. Did we have a championship game in 2000?
2020, rather.
2020, I mean. Yeah. Did we have one then? Yes. That would have been the year.
A muted one.
Yeah.
And Ohio State did play in the championship game, but there was another team that actually went 6-1, I believe, and met the regulations set forth by the Big Ten at the beginning of the all the crap that was going on with COVID and all that. But actually, they haven't been to my point being, they haven't been to the Big Ten championship since 2020, when they had that knockdown drag out with Indiana over at Ohio State. That was a great, great game that Indiana fans are probably still upset at the fact that they kind of changed the rules after the fact in order to let Ohio State in. you can argue that was the right thing to do or not. I don't really.
Well, it would have. I believe it was based on the number of games, if I recall.
Right? Yeah, you had to play at least 6 games or something.
Yes, and one of the
they were short.
One of the reasons that Ohio State came up short was that because Michigan withdrew from their game, so it would have been the ultimate blow from one rival to another. When you think about it, we beat you is one thing. We didn't play, so you didn't get to beat us, and we kept you out of the playoff and the Big Ten championship game. That would have been a little rugged because as we recall, that was maybe the worst Michigan team fielded since they first started stitching Wolverines on helmets. And so that game, we knew how that one was going to go no matter what. And so that would have been a little rugged on the Buckeyes, but it was a shame that, that was during the days when we had divisions. And so it was going to be Ohio State or Indiana in that championship game. Now we don't have to worry about that. You've got them both with the opportunity to play in the game, which is as it should be. They are the two most accomplished teams in the Big Ten by far. Oregon is having a terrific season, but we saw what the Hoosiers did going out to Eugene and winning by double digits on a day when I know that Mendoza threw it. I can't remember now whether it was a pick six or it was a pick six. So yeah, it was either a pick two that led to six. To me, in my mind, it was either a pick that led to six or a pick six, but it was a pick six.
It was a wounded duck pick six, so it wasn't like he threw a terrible. It was like, I can't remember if he was falling back or something because the ball just kind of hung up there, and it's like, oops, that was like, oh boy, I'd like to have that one back.
Yeah, but even with that, they still won by double digits, which says a lot about how excellent they were that day. It was a great football game, one of the really terrific games of the year. But what's coming Saturday night is what the promise of the Big Ten championship game was at its introduction and has rarely really met. And during all those years of the divisional setup, it often was anticlimactic. It was just a question, well, okay, how many points are the Buckeyes going to win by? How many points are the Wolverines going to win by? Can Iowa hold down with their great defense? Can they hold down the Buckeyes? Can Wisconsin with their or excuse me, not the Buckeyes, the Wolverines, but with Wisconsin with its great running game, can they control the football? And the answer was always no. The answer was always no. It was just a question of I mean, I remember one year I covered it, Jim, and it was 2023, and I ended up writing about the Florida State Louisville game that was happening on TV because it wasn't a competitive football game, and there was the likelihood that they would stick it to Florida State, which they did, and that became the column for me, even though I was in Indianapolis and in attendance at the championship game.
Well, and speaking of sticking it too, they're going to have the opportunities to do that multiple times. We're going to have all kinds of things going on here with this coaching carousel and coaches moving everywhere, and Lane Kiffin obviously moving to LSU and Ole Miss sitting there. I don't think much is going to happen to them, but I did see something very unique yesterday. Ole Miss has now lost its head coach. It's going to lose its offensive coordinator and its co-offensive coordinator. And now the head coach is going to be the HC is going to be the DC, who is the lowest rated defense of all the CFP contenders out there. So does this indeed make a difference to what Ole Miss can do? Will the committee take that into consideration, a la the Florida State deal a few years back?
Well, I think it would be, as a matter of fact, I just got done publishing a column about that, and I think it would be awful for them to do that. And they have done it in the past, and so has the NCAA men's basketball committee done it. My last year in daily newspapers, I covered the 1999-2000 Cincinnati Bearcats, and Kenyon Martin broke his leg on the eve of the NCAA tournament, and the committee decided that there's all kinds of machinations involved in what a disgrace it was, what they did. But just in the purest, for the sake of not turning this entire hour into a deconstruction of the seeding system in 2000, they took Cincinnati from a clear number one seed, what would have been the number one overall seed based on their season, to a number two seed. And my objection to that at the time, Jim, was it was a total guess. You don't guess in this. You go by what they've achieved. And okay, so they're not what they were yesterday. They'll be different tomorrow. Yeah, but they still achieved this. You can't be unfair to the players that helped accomplish that, the coaches that helped accomplish that, the fans technically that helped accomplish that, because you think, well, they're diminished now. Well, how diminished? Are they a 2? Well, that's what they made them. But they could have made them an 8. They could have made them a 6. What? Who knew? They had no opportunity to judge that team. Just as you have no opportunity to judge what Ole Miss will be as a football team without Lane Kiffin or whoever else doesn't show when they first start to play in the playoff. But you know what they've been, which a week ago was, I believe they were the number 7 team. One of the 6 in front of them lost. A&M lost over the weekend to Texas. So now the question is, like I broke it down in the column, probably the fairest measure of where Ole Miss should be is to measure them against A&M. And A&M's resume is probably not as strong as Ole Miss's is. It's probably not. But you could err to the side of the Aggies if you wished. It's reasonably close. The Aggies have Notre Dame and essentially nothing else. The Rebels have Tulane, which was their best non-conference win, and then Oklahoma, I believe, is their best conference win. And their one conference loss was to a championship participant in Georgia that they lost pretty competitively. It's the only loss they have all year. Texas pretty much owned the Aggies over the weekend, and Texas is not even a clear playoff participant, let alone in the SEC championship game. So, like I said, you can err to one side or the other, but there's no way you can say justifiably that Ole Miss is now whatever, out of the playoff, the 12 seed, whatever. You can't, because you don't know what impact it has. You have no opportunity to judge it. You only have what they've done.
I could argue both sides of this thing, probably just as successfully. I don't know. You're screwing the kids on the student athletes on one side, but on the other, there are teams that are possibly better now.
How do you know, though? How do you know? Maybe right. Lane Kiffin was holding these guys back. Maybe his colossal ego, this ego that couldn't fit within the entire state of Mississippi, maybe that was holding them back. How do you know? You just don't.
I'm probably in the minority. I don't see Lane Kiffin as the bad guy here.
Oh,
I see.
Yeah. Well, I see college argument, Jim.
I see college football as the problem.
No,
it's the president.
No,
yes.
No.
When else is he supposed to make this move? He doesn't have a choice either.
Hey, Jim. You know what? Tough. What did Curt Cignetti do? What did Curt Cignetti do? Curt Cignetti said, "This is the place that made me what I am right now." A.
Different scenario.
B. It's not. He could have gone home to Pennsylvania in Happy Valley and coached where the great Joe Paterno coached in a 100,000-seat stadium, and everybody would have loved him. And he would have been the returning conquering hero to the state where he was born. But he didn't do it. He shut it down immediately, which is exactly the way you should do it when you know what you have.
Well, when you know what you want. And
when you know what you have.
But this is not what you, but if you want something, there's nothing. This is America, baby. You're allowed to go to
okay, all right.
If you want.
So applying this philosophy to, let's say, marriage. Man, I love my wife, but wow, Brooke Shields wants me now.
You better say that one first.
Brooke Shields is, I don't know if she's available, by the way. I don't think she is. I think she's married, but we're just using her as an example. Brilliant, talented, accomplished, wealthy. I could have her instead. Okay. I mean, that's the thought process. You are in a competition. You coach these players and say, you have to make sacrifices for the team. You have to do what's right for the team. Sometimes that's going to mean it's not what's right for you. But okay, when it's Lane Kiffin's career and he gets the chance to go to somewhere where his job might be a little easier than it is now, which is basically what we're talking about, because he's not going to make that much more money, if any. Mississippi was going to match what he's making at LSU. It's just about, I can get better players easier there. That's what your horizon is. So all the cajoling and the work hard and give it for the team and all that doesn't mean anything when somebody says, I can make your job a little easier. We've won championships here before. They haven't won championship there since 1963. That's what he's leaving for. And you say, okay, I'm walking away from my team in the middle of that. It happens every year, Jim. Coaches in college basketball have said, you know what? The NCAA tournament is what I'm here for. My guys, I coach them all year. If there's another opportunity, if you're willing to wait for me, we'll talk. But I'm not dealing with this until my season's over. And in football, they say, oh, the calendar is so hard. It's making it tough on me. I have to pass on an opportunity. Oh, gosh. And I'm just going to have to sit here and make $12 million a year. Come on. That's the excuse making by the college football apparatus for what Lane Kiffin did is disgusting. There is no excuse for what he did. What he did was quit on his team, Jim. If the quarterback at Ole Miss had said, you know what? I've proven myself as not even Ole Miss, like any school where they really. So I don't know that the guy at Ole Miss is a legit, but let's use Francisco. Let's use him. What if he said, you know what? I'm going to be a top 10 pick. I'm done. I've done what I need to do. My next job is the big job. That's the one that's going to maybe pay me eventually $250 million, $500 million, whatever. So I'm done. I'm not going out into the playoffs and getting hurt. What would we say about that?
Yeah, but when is he supposed to make this move? Is my point.
He either doesn't or he says to LSU, you wait or you don't get me. It happens in basketball every year. And it's happened every year for 35 years.
But basketball is different from
No, it's
football.
not.
It's not. The calendar's set up.
It's not different.
Recruiting-wise, it is from the transfer portal window now.
Well, the transfer portal last year opened the week after the first round, I believe. So everybody that made the Sweet 16, I mean, I talked to Mark Pope last year on like the Tuesday of Sweet 16 week. And it was really cool of him to make time for me. But
so when you said that if LSU wants you, you'll wait until what? The season's over?
Till I'm done, until my team is no longer in the playoff.
Well, he wanted to coach Ole Miss, but Ole Miss would not allow that.
No, if he wanted to coach Ole Miss, he'd have said, LSU, I'm not taking your calls. You can talk to my agent, but I am not taking your calls, and I am not doing anything until.
So what if they had done all this stuff in private and secrecy, and nobody knew until it was done?
That's up to him. That's what the agents are for.
No, but that would have been okay if they had done it in secrecy but he's still leaving for LSU. At the end of the day, he's still leaving. So what's the difference? At least now it's in the open.
The difference is that he had the chance to win a national championship, Jim, and he chose his own self-interest. Like I said, you could Francisco is a legit first-round pick. It's going to happen. It's just a question of 1 to 32. He's going to be a first-round pick. What if he said, okay, it's been fun, guys, and thank you for getting me to where I am, but my next job is the one that if I succeed in my rookie contract, first of all, my rookie contract's going to pay me $35 million. I'm doing okay here at Indiana, but I ain't doing that. So my rookie contract's going to pay me $35 to $50 million. And if I succeed, I will get a half $500 million. So taking the chance on getting hurt against Ohio State or in any subsequent playoff games is not a wise career move. What would the response have been? Oh, doggone college football! They shouldn't have these playoffs. They should, we should just vote again. I mean, that's what you're dealing with. That's the excuse that's being made for Lane Kiffin. You know what he had to do? He had to say, guys, I'm not dealing with this. I am Ole Miss's coach. I am going to work for Ole Miss. And if I have to pass on this opportunity because of that, that's the way it goes. I'll be fine. I'll make $12 million a year here, and I'll continue to coach Ole Miss into the upper echelon of the SEC. If LSU is that much better of a job than Ole Miss, then why has LSU fired its last 3 coaches?
After they all won national championships.
No. BK didn't win a national championship.
Oh, Brian Kelly. I'm sorry. That's right. Because mainly they were all cheating, except for Brian Kelly, of course.
Well, maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Brian Kelly, not in that group either. So I didn't mean to.
Brian Kelly's one of the greatest college football coaches in history, and he couldn't please them. Will Lane? Maybe not. I don't know. I just know that every year for the 40 years or so I've been covering college basketball, guys have had to put their own interests behind that of their team and have. And in the first time it happens in football because of the expanded playoff, sorry guys, I got to go.
But we see it every year, even in basketball, whether they stay or not, it still causes disruptions and it kind of hangs around. Well, is he staying? Is he going? And this cloud hangs over while stuff is going on. So we see it in basketball as well. Maybe not to this level, but of course, we don't have Marty Smith sitting down there camping out in the headquarters there waiting for Lane Kiffin to come out of the bushes, which was ridiculous. I'm like, get out of here with this crap. I'm like going, you know what? Guess what? When something happens, it's going to be breaking news and it'll be everywhere. I'm not waiting for Marty Smith to get his scoop out of the bushes. I found that to be so funny. And that's another thing. I think ESPN is to blame for, and not just ESPN, but any media that does that creates this. It's a stupid coach. It's a stupid coach waiting to make his decision on a damn job. This is not the guy who's curing cancer. It's not the guy who's saving lives over here. It's just, I was like, okay, let's take a step back, people. That's the only thing.
One up on me because I didn't watch a second of it. I didn't see any of that.
I was able to stay away from most of it. Like, yeah, whatever. Hey, the great Mike DeCourcy is with us from the Sporting News. More coming up from Indiana Sports Beat Radio. We're back with it and much more right after these messages.
Know a team or group needing a fundraiser? Boost Fundraising raises more money faster and offers the most unique and user-friendly online fundraiser in the nation. Your team receives personalized fundraising pages for each team member. Free team-branded promo gifts shipped to each donor. Boost Fundraising does it all. Sports teams, marching bands, charity causes, and community groups. Go to boostfundraising.com and be sure to enter the promo code Coyle, that's COYLE, to receive a discounted fundraiser. Whether it's a night out with the family, after work with colleagues, or catching the game with friends, Bubba's 33 is the place for you. Bubba's 33 offers a mouthwatering menu of selections that are all made from scratch every day. The portions are big, but the prices are small. And with over 50 big screen TVs, you'll never miss the big game. Bubba's 33, pizza, burgers, beer.
Zach Browning here to tell you about an offer you simply can't pass up. If you're looking for the best coverage of Indiana football and basketball, which includes recruiting, weekly chats, podcasts, as well as access to the best national team out there, then look no further than thehoosier.com. The best part, it's just $1 for the first week. Oh, and did I mention that you get a full year of access to The Athletic when you sign up? You can't beat the coverage and you can't beat the deal. So head over to thehoosier.com today and sign up for just $1. It'll be the best decision you ever made.
Huddle up, football fans. Tailgate season is here and nobody gets you ready for game day like Academy Sports and Outdoors. Swing by your local Academy store or shop online at academy.com to find everything you need, from grills to jerseys and more. Be a watch party legend with gear from top brands like Nike and Under Armour, all at unbeatable prices every day. With 8 Academy stores across Indiana, including our Bloomington location, fun can't lose and neither can you. Gear up today at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio on this Tuesday, a snowy Tuesday here in early December. Mike DeCourcy with us. I was going to say, what's it like up in Pittsburgh? Is the great Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News with us? Do you have your sled out or your toboggan?
I should. Overnight, we got about 2-3 inches, and it's my shovel is beckoning. Absolutely.
Blower, baby, leaf blower.
Well, I don't have that. One of the nice things about the place we moved into was our driveway is a lot shorter now, so I don't have to do as much. Technically, we're supposed to have people come around and do it, but they always take too long. But one thing I want to talk about with the calendar, Jim, is, I apologize for shouting you down, but
no, that's what people love it. What are you talking? I need to be shouted down. What are you?
Okay, but here's the thing. First of all, there's nothing you can do about the transfer portal unless you, my friend Tom Hart from the SEC Network and other play-by-plays, terrific play-by-play man, proposed that they eliminate spring practice and move that to June. That's an interesting concept because one of the reasons we have the transfer portal activity when we do is so that players can be enrolled in time for the spring semester so they can be in spring practice. That's why they're there. That's why the portal stuff happens now. There's no other time to enroll in the spring semester other than in advance of this spring semester. So that's part of it. Secondarily, when college football had the opportunity to do what college basketball does relative to high school athletes, which is start an early signing period. In basketball, the early signing period happens before anybody really starts hooping. It's early November. Like almost no one is playing high school basketball then. They're practicing, but they're not playing. So college football could have said, okay, we're going to have our early signing period in August or early September. They didn't want to do that, Jim. They didn't want to make it more convenient for themselves or for the athletes.
Why is that?
Because they didn't. Because two things. One,
spring.
Because one of the reasons they didn't want the early signing period in advance of high school senior seasons was, one, they might not be good enough. They might fail, and they didn't want to risk that. Or two, they might get hurt, and that's the real one. They didn't want, all of a sudden, you got the number one quarterback. Oh, he got hurt. He's not going to be the number one quarterback anymore. We don't want to have to deal with that. So they decide to make the early signing period in December. Well, that doesn't help anybody, really. It just changes there's no difference. The only difference, and again, it goes back to spring practice, is if you sign a player early in December and that player is situated so that he can graduate from high school early. And if you're a reasonable student, it's not that difficult to graduate high school early. I mean, the number of credits that you have to accumulate in order to graduate high school can be comfortably traversed from your freshman year to the middle of your senior year, if you're a good student. And so a lot of them will graduate in December after they've signed at Indiana or Ohio State or Notre Dame or wherever, and then enroll in January so that they can be in spring practice. And again, so that's all it facilitates. So this is all centered around spring practice. Now, if you decide that you don't want to have spring practice anymore, or you want to move that into the summer so that then you can move the transfer portal beyond the spring semester. You're going to have a lot of lame duck, so to speak, athletes on your campus that are getting ready to leave, but you have to scholarship them for their spring semester. You're going to have a lot of them, but then the portal opens, I don't know, March, April, whenever it makes sense. And then they leave, and then they leave at the end of the semester, and they enroll at their new school for summer, and then they can participate in spring practice. If you want to do that, fine. But it's not. But it still doesn't justify what Lane Kiffin did. It's not like we're not talking about Lane Kiffin going from like Long Beach State to LSU. We're talking about he's a coach at a high major SEC program that he was able to get to within a whisker of the SEC championship game, just a tiebreaker that kept them out. And that's not good enough for him. I'm sorry. That's not what being a competitor is. It's about pursuing the championship that's in front of you. That's what we watch sports for. That's what it's all about. And he decided that was less important. And the people that he had cajoled and coached and pleaded with and condemned and all the rest of it through the course of the year to get to this point, and he said, that's not important enough to me. There's no justification for that.
Yeah, I guess if I was going to argue it back, it would be just to say, hey, he has the right to do what he wants with his life. It's not like he has harmed anyone. He has actually improved things for them. He's made things better for Ole Miss. Ole Miss is better off today than they were before he arrived.
Are they better off today than they were on Saturday?
They will be. They're going to be better off, though, without him had he not been there.
Not necessarily. Maybe they'd hired a very good coach who was committed to the program and would have stayed.
But so how long do you have to stay your entire life?
No, you don't have to stay your entire life. I mean, that's not a reasonable position, but you don't leave in the middle of the competition.
That's funny. Lame Kiffin.
You don't. Again, I use that example and because it's something that people have been
and
saying.
I get it. I would be. I mean, if I was a player, I would be all the emotion. I can't imagine the emotions, but I'm wondering, are these guys getting more and more akin to just the business side of this, knowing because they're all involved in the business side of it themselves, because they're all
okay. So
virtually every one of these players. How many of these players are transfers that are
how many of these players
mercenary hired killers in essence?
How many players since the introduction of the college football playoff 10 years ago, 11, 12 years ago, this will be the 12th college football playoff. How many players have walked away from a college football playoff and said, I'm protecting myself for the NFL draft? How many, Jim? You know what the answer to that is? It's zero. It's never happened. It's happened in bowl games because bowl games are exhibitions. But it's never happened in the college football playoff. It's never happened in the NCAA men's basketball tournament. I don't know the women's tournament as well. I suspect it's never happened there either. I don't believe that that's because they are competitors. That's the job. That's the calling. You are competing for a championship. And Lane Kiffin said, "Oh no, man, that's not that important to me. I would just much rather have my etouffee. I know it's fresh and authentic. It's not imported."
He's a seafood man. He's obviously a seafood man, of course. Not too far from seafood there in Oxford, but. It's the saga has gone on, but now we've got our own saga with the Big Ten championship coming up. Not really a saga, but this is going to be fun. It's going to be what an incredible day in Indianapolis. First of all, Indiana and Louisville playing basketball at 2 in the afternoon, and then that evening at 8, you've got number 2 Indiana taking on number 1 Ohio State. And these teams are just evenly matched. People have really raged on Ohio State's defense, which is terrific. But I think that Indiana's defense has kind of been overlooked. I think they're pretty daggone equal there. And I think this should be a good game. There's no reason it shouldn't be.
Oh, it should be a great game. I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility, Jim. I don't think it'll happen. But I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility that we could come out of Saturday night and they still are the number 1 and number 2 seed. It depends on how the game goes. It would have to be very close. And I think the SEC game would have to be very close as well, in the sense that like Georgia can't blow out Alabama, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. I know that they will not put Indiana and Ohio State in the same bracket. That would be preposterous. Making them 1-4, something like that. The only justification for that would be if it were a blowout. And I fully agree with you that it won't be. Teams have played Ohio State competitively. in a lot of circumstances. Michigan did for a while. Ultimately, Ohio State was much better, but it was a challenge for a while. I think that Indiana is the best challenger that Ohio State has had to date. They've got great quarterback play. They've got, as you mentioned, that their defense, that Oregon game, the defense was outstanding in that game. I mean, they took down a really good college offense in Oregon, a terrific quarterback in Dante Moore, really good players around him. It's a very compelling matchup. The one thing you would say is that Indiana's game against Penn State is the one they can't repeat that level of performance can't be revisited. Ohio State will take full advantage, but that was the aberration. That was the one game in which they were not special. If they repeat their Illinois game or their Oregon game, it's going to be really something.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what getting inside, getting indoors, getting on that surface does. If it changes the speed, man, it's just, this should be one hell of a game. I'm looking forward to it. The Heisman Trophy likely coming down to this game. I think between Julian Sayin and Fernando Mendoza, we'll certainly find out, but I'm assuming you're not going to come in for this game, are you?
I am not. No. And I covered it many times when I lived there, and certainly I would be. The problem is that the game begins so late, and I was talking to my editor yesterday about whether our terrific college football writer Bill Bender was going to go over. Is the game begins so late, and then it's kind of a little bit like the Big Ten men's basketball championship game that starts at 3 and then or 3:30, and then the selection show happens so fast that people, there's really not a lot of interest in reading an article about the game that just happened. They're more interested in the playoff bracket. Well, in the case of this even a terrific game like this, the playoff selection happens so early. It happens at noon. If it happened at 6 p.m. like it does in hoops, and then you had the night game, then even that late night, it might be more compelling to write about it, to write about what happens, and to invest in being there. But because it happens so late, it does impact the level of interest and traffic. We're going to be talking about the playoff bracket, less than basically 12 hours after the champion of the Big Ten is decided. So that's the impediment to it, which is a shame. But if I still lived in Fishers, man, I'd be like the first person in the building. This game is so thrilling. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to the excitement in the city and with everything, like I said, that's going on, basketball all day long. Indianapolis, the greatest sports city in America. Oh, baby, get to enjoy it on Saturday. Mike, what's up next for you?
Yeah, I have that column I mentioned before. I would suggest people check it out. If they want my diatribe in printed form, I wrote about Lane Kiffin on Sunday night, and so that's still available. And then I'm going to write a column. I've got a column coming about the Heisman Trophy and my belief about what should happen with the Heisman Trophy relative to Saturday and relative to the rest of the season.
So you meant as far as who should win it?
Yeah, who should win it? Who should be how the voters should be examining a broader picture than they tend to do.
Snippets. We don't give it away, but snippets. What are some of?
Is it just a quarterback?
Here's my thing: is it is becoming that. It shouldn't be. It's not supposed to be the best player on the best team, which it has become that as well. Yes. And that has been that way for quite some time, unfortunately. I don't know when that happened. I'd have to go back and look, and I could probably tell.
Can I tell you when it happened? I will tell you when it happened. And
post 1989, I can tell you that.
At the time, I didn't realize that it was going to happen when I participated in this. a friend of mine named Randy Holtz worked for the Rocky Mountain News, and I was working at the Pittsburgh Press, and we were both Scripps Howard papers, and they started a Heisman Watch poll in probably late 80s. I don't remember the exact year. And so they asked me to participate. I was a Heisman voter then covering Penn State. And so they asked if I would participate. And it was mostly Scripps Howard writers, I think. I can't remember exactly how he did it. And then it was published by the Scripps Howard News Service at the time. That was one of the Scripps Howard News Service was subscribed to by a lot of papers in addition to Scripps Howard papers, because it supplemented your coverage nationally. And gradually you could see it happen through that it became who's hot, who's not. If you were a great player and you had a bad game, you'd fall out and all that stuff, as opposed to just like getting to the end of the year and people looking around saying, hey, who's been the best player? That's kind of when it started. And it really hit its zenith. Like you could tell it really changed the game when Gino Torretta won the Heisman in like 91, I think it was. And I covered Penn State against that Miami team, and Gino Torretta was probably the 8th best player on his team, on his own team, not in the whole country, on his own team. And yet he won because he was the quarterback of the best team.
Yeah, I do not disagree with that at all. I knew it was right after post 89 somewhere in that category, because Anthony Thompson nearly won it on a losing team. So I'm like, okay, something major happened after that. And it went to hell to handbasket. But the great Mike DeCourcy, make sure you're going to the Sporting News and checking out all of his great content. He's got pieces up right now as well. Appreciate you, my friend, as always.
Thanks, Jim. It was a pleasure. Thanks for
always mine. Oh, that's one of the funnest. People love it. I love it. That's what makes it fun. Mike bringing the fun on this Tuesday. We've got more of it. Appreciate you, sir. Enjoy your week. We've got plenty more Indiana Sports Beat Radio. JD Campbell's going to join us. We're also going to hear from Lavar Keys later, as one of Indiana's newest recruits, signees, flipped from Penn State. That and more. Much more coming up here. Indiana Sports Beat Radio. If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemore@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today. When it comes to apparel and promotions, Freethink has you covered, literally, whether it's 24 or 200 shirts for sports leagues, businesses, or groups. Freethink Apparel and Promotions can also create your very own merchandising store. Freethink Apparel and Promotions did it for Indiana Sports Beat Radio, and they can do it for you. Whether it's screen printing, embroidery, digital printing, promotional products, vehicle wraps, or anything else under the promotional line. See what Freethink Apparel and Promotions can do for you at freethinkapparel.com.
Huddle up, football fans. Tailgate season is here, and nobody gets you ready for game day like Academy Sports and Outdoors. Swing by your local Academy store or shop online at academy.com to find everything you need, from grills to jerseys and more. Be a watch party legend with gear from top brands like Nike and Under Armour, all at unbeatable prices every day. With 8 Academy stores across Indiana, including our Bloomington location, fun can't lose, and neither can you. Gear up today at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Whether it's a night out with the family, after work with colleagues, or catching the game with friends, Bubba's 33 is the place for you. Bubba's 33 offers a mouthwatering menu of selections that are all made from scratch every day. The portions are big, but the prices are small. And with over 50 big screen TVs, you'll never miss the big game. Bubba's 33. Pizza, burgers, beer.
Coach today said there's a lot of celebrating going on in the locker room. Just what is, when you hear perfect regular season, go to a Big Ten title game, what's your first thought, what's your kind of emotions with that?
Yeah, I think Pat Coogan before the games told the offense a really motivating speech, and I think it really resonates with a lot of us. He said, what a great opportunity that we can go 12-0. Because everyone knew that we could go 12-0. No one was blind to it. One more game, perfect regular season, something that nobody in Indiana history has done. He's like, look at us, a bunch of misfits, guys from FCS, G5, JMU coming up, bunch of transfers, a bunch of rejects that got replaced with their old schools coming to Indiana. And now we have a chance to be 12-0, and now we are 12-0. So what a great opportunity with such a special group of guys. Like Coogan said, all the misfits from across the nation coming together and becoming 12-0 for the first time in Indiana Hoosiers history.
There is Fernando Mendoza. JD Campbell joining us now. I love listening to Fernando speak because I'm waiting for, as soon as his career is done in football, it's going straight to TV and as a promotional speaker, because this dude is ready-made straight out of Central Casting. It's like, give me the mic and get out of the way. I mean, have you ever seen a student athlete with the aplomb that he has in front of the microphone?
Well, he's terrific, and he deserves, and the team deserves, and the university deserves, and the fans deserve all the great things that are happening right now. And what a week it's going to be. What a week it has been. But I will trade what my week was more than anything. I don't think there's anybody that had a better week than me.
That's true. And I'll try to get this picture pulled up. I forgot about that, but go ahead. You keep talking while I'm navigating.
Well, the adventure started Wednesday morning at about 8:30. And my beautiful wife, Carrie, and I jumped in the car and drove all the way to Detroit because we were going to attend our first Thanksgiving game in the city that really invented the Thanksgiving.
The Lions,
game.
Baby. Yeah, the old Lions.
And I always look at it like this. No matter what you do, you are going to have stress during that day. And so we got in.
In sports, we like to call it adversity.
Yeah. What we did is we got into Detroit. We were going to meet our son for Thanksgiving dinner. It was also my wife's birthday. And we picked something up, and it wasn't quite ready. So we pivoted and went to a great Detroit pizza place called Elephant and Company, where we could put candles on the pizza.
Yeah, I think of pizza. I think elephant.
Yes.
Elephant ear pizza, maybe. Elephant ear pizza?
I don't know, but I love elephant ears too. And then we went home, went back to the hotel, got up, relied on that great thing GPS to get us downtown, and the parade was going on. They have a big parade. It's actually the parade that started and that Macy stole from Detroit.
Uh-oh. Boy.
So
Thievery.
We couldn't get to our parking garage, but we found another one, had great breakfast, went to the game. And if you didn't see that halftime show on YouTube, go see it because it's Jack White, Seven Nations Army. My wife still can't stop humming that song. And then Eminem came out and the roof blew off.
Eminem.
Wow.
I love it. There's a picture, by the way, for those of you that are following on social media. You can see JD with his
so we got home,
new granddaughter.
Yeah, we got home, okay, and you can I have the little sticker that they let me in. It's a pass, and I'm keeping it on my hat forever. My Newman University Jets. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Hello,
Newman.
I finally got I got tired Saturday night and actually went to bed before midnight, which is very rare. And my son had called my wife at 2 a.m. and said, hey, our daughter-in-law's water broke. Carrie, I was dead asleep. Carrie didn't wake me up, and I woke up at 6. I saw his text, but I didn't have my glasses on. And so anyway, we drove all the way back up to South Bend, had the most beautiful drive. The weather, it was clear until about Plymouth, Indiana, and then it was an absolute whiteout blizzard that we got to the hospital. And she was born Sunday at 3:20, which is a good batting average.
Name? We got a name?
Isla.
Oh, there it is, Isla.
Yeah.
Isla and Aurora.
Yeah, and Isla and Mom are doing great. More importantly, being a veteran, I showered the oldest, Aurora, with a lot of gifts to distract her. And she was great holding the baby, and it was awesome. But I got to take exception with one thing that you said earlier.
Uh-oh.
We talked about this last week. Las
I'm
Vegas.
doubling down then.
Las Vegas is the sports capital of the world. So, and I just wanted to get your goad there. But Indy's going to do a fantastic job.
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised for it. Las Vegas is going to become the sports capital of the United States of teams that don't. Let's see. It's hard to explain what I'm trying to say. I think it's good.
Okay, rodeo guy.
Las Vegas and Indianapolis are going to be the East Coast, West Coast. There you go.
I don't disagree, and I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you.
They're both kind of equally inland, same distance, and just yeah.
I'm going to give you an example of the difference between college sports and professional sports. Okay, I know you and DeCourcy were battling and talking about different things. College sports is like driving from O'Hare in any direction in a blizzard
during rush hour.
During rush hour.
Yes.
And pro sports is like driving on the interstate from California all the way to Texas, where there's really nothing. There's not a lot of stress. You don't want to break down. And certainly, you know, you feel, again, the first thing I do when I see bad weather is I pray for everyone traveling, because I know how, you know, that is scary. And certainly in Indiana, there was a big, you know, situation Saturday night, and I'm not making light of it. But, you know, you hope at some point that college sports will get to the point to where we can talk about the games and not about the idiots. And some of the things that we saw this weekend really turned my stomach.
Now, I'm assuming you're talking about Lane Kiffin and.
Well, he's not the only one.
No, I know,
and
I keep saying, I'm not trying to take up for Lane Kiffin. My argument is that this is not a Lane Kiffin problem. This is a college football problem.
No, I will say this.
I'm going to disagree all day, because it's America and you should be able to go find the best job for you and your family. And the situation sucks from a timing standpoint, but he didn't make the timing standpoint. All this stuff just got changed. It's not his fault. And I don't blame him. I'd go too, because he thinks he can win a national championship where he's going. He doesn't think that it's going to be a consistent thing at Ole Miss. And I don't blame him.
Well, I'm not going to name the coach.
Come on,
okay,
man.
I'm not going to name the coach, but I'm going to tell you how it feels. Not from my standpoint, but from a player standpoint. I once had a coach that really, really changed the complexion of a program. And it's not basketball. Okay? And I remember, you know, he ended up taking another job. And these kids really bought into him. And he came in and told the team he was leaving. And I remember a linebacker got up and told him, get the F out. Just get the F out. Don't want to see you. Don't want to hear from you. Don't want to talk to you. Just get the F out of this room because you are not family. Okay? That's when you've been in that situation.
I know, but that's a different time.
No,
this
no,
is
it's
a
not
different era, man.
Look, yes, it is a different time. And Lane Kiffin is not to blame, as you said. But the system is what to blame. And the last people, you're always the last person to know when you have problems. And I think college athletics knows they have problems, but you've got to have the leadership to be able to, okay, put up the stop sign and say, all right, enough. Because eventually, the losers are not the players now. Not the player. Players aren't the losers anymore because
they used to be. Yeah,
they used to be. They used to be. But the losers in all this are the fans. The people that loyally write checks. Well, nobody writes checks anymore. The people that loyally give up money to support their program because they believe, and they all believe this now, that money can buy championships. And I don't think that's the case. It's like
the Dr. Pepper commercial. I love the Dr. Pepper commercials. They're freaking hilarious. And they have jumped right into this era of college football.
Oh yeah.
They've got the kids that instead of having a lemonade stand, they're having a Dr. Pepper stand. And they're saying, yeah, no, we're selling Dr. Peppers for NIL money. And he's like, oh, well, I'll take a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah,
what?
I don't.
You don't want our quarterback to have receivers to throw to? You're only taking one?
Yeah, I don't, like I say, I don't fault the players because the system fell in their lap and they ran with it. And we can talk till we're Hoosier Crimson in the face, and debate this, which is what I think that's what people like you, me, people that maybe do this for a living, especially you and other great hosts of great content like this, they sit there and again, they may not love it, but they love it. Because
and I don't love it, but I will say this.
The immediacy in which all of this changes now. We listen on the way home from Detroit. We listened to the the Cowboys, because the music can be distracting. Not to me, but it just is. And then we listened to the Chefs, it was the Chefs and Cowboys, and then Joe Burrow and the Ravens. Joe Burrow, beating the Ravens. And on the way here on Sunday, we listened to College Football Live today, the ESPNU Channel 84 on Sirius XM. And it got to the point where it was nauseating. Well, Pete Thamel's reporting this. Oh, this guy from Yahoo's reporting this. And then 20 minutes later, after a commercial or whatever they did, they would go into more stuff and keep repeating and repeating. And finally, you okay?
Yeah, just sneezing there.
Well,
I didn't want to sneeze
you need
into
to be in a hotel room like me where it's
yeah,
comfortable.
you got
Although
the goods going.
I already cleared my car of snow and ice. So now, as soon as I get out of here, I'm jumping in the shower, and then we're going to do some more honeydews and go see the two kids.
Well, that sounds like a great day. Snowman in the future?
Never. Hate snow.
Who
one
doesn't?
School day, hey, one day of school canceled.
Your entire life?
In Las Vegas. Yes. And the whole city shut down. Paralyzed. Couldn't move. Couldn't move. And
mercy.
And then when we made it up, it was the worst thing ever. It's not like you build in a snow day. They made us come an hour early. So instead of being at school, one day we had to make up however many hours of school you went to. And you had to get there at 7 a.m. instead of 8. And listen, my chair, I didn't even get up till 7:15 for an 8 o'clock class. And I had a whole system: shower, eat my Cheerios, hopefully Grandpa brought home Winchell's donuts, and get to my class at 7:57.
Well, enjoy, brother. Enjoy I hope you don't have to do any snow scooping now. So
no, I'm done, man.
Perfect. I'm
done. And thank you for having me on, bud.
Thank you. Appreciate you, brother. It's always fun. That's all this is.
Before we go, let's get out there. The volleyball's hosting, correct?
Yes, they are. Wow. What a fall for Indiana.
Yeah,
sports.
Volleyball's hosting.
NCAA tournament, people.
The Hoosiers got Louisville at 2. Boy, a lot of red taking over.
Oh, it's all day.
Yeah, and then of course you know, a game that wasn't good enough for ESPN to cover, but I understand that's TV contract. The big Fox game in Lucas Oil, and I'll be very comfortably eating chili and propping my feet up, and I'll watch the whole day, probably nap.
Not as good as the chili I made last weekend, but
dude,
I'm sure.
No, I'm not making chili. I don't make chili anymore. I decided I found some place whose chili I like better. In fact, when I get home tonight, I made DoorDash that chili.
I
had tortillas last night here in South Bend.
It sounds like a good South Bend. That sounds cold.
Very much cold. So.
Just had a cold chill. Just
layers upon layers upon layers, buddy.
Absolutely. Stay warm, brother, and keep at it up in South Bend today. JD Campbell joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Lots more coming up. We're going to talk to Lavar Keys, one of Indiana's newest recruits on the football side, a flip from Penn State, when we come back on the other side from these messages.
The ISC Sports Network is your home for sports content across the Hoosier State. Find us live on TV and streaming or archived on our website and our app. The ISC is your one-stop shop for the content you want to see, including high school sports, college sports, and other great events throughout the year. Subscribe to our streaming service and get access to it all. ISC. Local lives here.
Know a team or group needing a fundraiser? Boost Fundraising raises more money faster and offers the most unique and user-friendly online fundraiser in the nation. Your team receives personalized fundraising pages for each team member. Free team-branded promo gifts shipped to each donor. Boost Fundraising does it all. Sports teams, marching bands, charity causes, and community groups. Go to boostfundraising.com and be sure to enter the promo code COYLE, that's COYLE, to receive a discounted fundraiser. If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemore@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today. When it comes to apparel and promotions, Freethink has you covered, literally, whether it's 24 or 200 shirts for sports leagues, businesses, or groups. Freethink Apparel and Promotions can also create your very own merchandising store. Freethink Apparel and Promotions did it for Indiana Sports Beat Radio, and they can do it for you. Whether it's screen printing, embroidery, digital printing, promotional products, vehicle wraps, or anything else under the promotional line. See what Freethink Apparel and Promotions can do for you at freethinkapparel.com. Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio on this Tuesday. Glad to have you along, and a special day, as very happy to have Lavar Keys on the dais today. Indiana, one of their future receivers. We've seen a lot of action on the offensive end this year for Indiana football with Fernando Mendoza and Omar Cooper and Elijah Surratt and then Charlie Becker, and now the newest name could be Lavar Keys. Lavar, how are you, man? First of all, thank you for joining us and taking the time to be with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How was your Thanksgiving, man?
It was pretty good, being able to get back with fam and just, chill, talk, watch football, play left, right, center. Those are the times you need, because
right center. Oh my God. I heard that for
Yeah,
a hot minute, man.
That game get intense. I'm always
go
happy.
on for a minute, too. Yeah.
Yep.
I did not expect the left, right, center to come up today. I can assure you that, man. But that's great. That's great. I love that. That's cool.
Yes,
Indiana, obviously, man, big doings. They finished the season 12-0, undefeated regular season, heading to the Big Ten championship this weekend. I'm sure you've been watching things throughout the season and getting to watch that prolific offense. And what's it like to watch Omar Cooper make that catch at Penn State, or Elijah Surratt make the catches he makes, or now Charlie Becker or whomever it is, man? It seems like, man, lots of good receivers and a lot of guys that can get good at Indiana.
It's amazing because, looking back at last year where they had the 2 other guys that went to the NFL, and just looking at it now, you got 2 other guys that could go as well. But just me being a receiver, seeing guys that play the position I play just eat and make plays, it just makes me sit back and be like, dang, that could be me next year.
Absolutely. Lavar Keys, a 3-star wide receiver from DeMatha Catholic High School in Hyattsville, Maryland. If you know anything about sports, you know that quite a few athletes have come out of there, man. It's been crazy how good the athletes that have come out of there have been. Lavar hoping to add his name to that. Lavar, what and so I know that there's stuff happened at Penn State. Originally you were committed there, but then things change and opportunities change, and this could end up being the opportunity that you never expected that was going to happen.
Right. Looking back into the summertime, I had won a sneaky OV to Indiana, but I had got caught, and just looking back at the OV, it was amazing, just seeing how they used me in the offense, seeing how they treated me up there. I just knew to myself, I'm like, who knows? I could be here, before signing day. Anything can happen. And we see what happened, and, it didn't take me no time.
And we've seen what Curt Cignetti and crew has done offensively these 2 years. It's been remarkable to watch, and he's done it with multiple quarterbacks and receivers. They just kind of keep adding to this. So obviously it's something you can see yourself working yourself into as being one of these important parts.
Yes, sir. Looking at the way Shanahan and Cignetti just run their offense, Cignetti got a receiver background, Shanahan do as well. And just them, dicing things up, knowing how to use guys in all ways and different personnels. It was just pretty easy for me because, looking at the schools, I went based off of like scheme, somewhere that I could see myself fitting in at. I'm not as big as everybody else, so I got to go somewhere that's gonna give me the ball and I could be a playmaker and be able to show my.
And that's another thing, Indiana. You see a lot of guys that were not probably the highest recruited guys in the country. We've talked a lot about that. There are a lot of guys on this team that didn't have a lot of offers. As a matter of fact, Fernando Mendoza had one Power 4 offer when he came out of college. But the other guys, they came from a lower level, man. So it just shows the talent can come from anywhere.
Yep.
It's growing it, developing it, and seeing the development that goes on at Indiana. How important has that been to watch how these guys develop?
Looking at other teams, everybody just get new guys. But one thing that Indiana has, they're big on development. Looking back at JMU, half the teams from JMU. Elias Surratt been developed from ground one. When he transferred from St. Francis to JMU and started his football career basically with Cignetti. That just shows how developed he got. From JMU, he was already balling, but when he got to Indiana, it just kept going. Omar Cooper as well. I believe Omar Cooper was already at Indiana, correct?
Yes, sir.
Man. Ever since Cignetti came, Omar Cooper been involved in as well. Just looking at all of them guys, Fisher, Pons, all of them, it's development, and that's one thing Cignetti do, and I love that. That's something I want to be a part of because at DeMatha, I was developed here as well.
Yeah, and because like everyone else, you want to make it to the next level whenever that opportunity comes, and you've got to put yourself in the position to be able to do that. And now we've seen as college football has changed, but fortunately for Indiana, they've been one of the programs that's been able to adapt. How fun has it been watching this go along? I know part of the recruiting process, once it's done, it's a lot more relief for you.
Right.
You can actually pull for a team or whatever. But while that recruiting process was going on, you're watching all these different games. What are you looking for?
I'm just looking for, just them stacking W's. I want Indiana to win a national championship this year, and I know it's going to happen. But just me watching from, I'm not there yet, so just me watching from another athlete, it's just fun. Very exciting. I cheer every game. I get excited because it's always a crazy play being made, and it's just very fun to watch. Defense always getting turnovers. I tell my friends all the time, Indiana defense average 2 turnovers a game or more. So just looking at that and the offensive side putting up 50 points, that's just amazing. For me, it's just I could just sit back and just enjoy it and eat popcorn or whatever I eat. Just watch it.
And what have you picked up from watch? And now that once you committed, I know you watch more and more, but what have you picked up watching Indiana, watching their offense, watching the receivers, watching how they're used, the blocking, downfield blocking, but they're so active in every aspect of the offense.
Just sitting back and just looking everybody's used. Elias Surratt, Coop, Charlie, EJ, the tight ends, they're all used. It's not like it's just going to one guy. It's going all over. And it's certain plays for all of them. And just looking at all of it, it just make me look at it and be like, dang, I'm going to offense. If I come in focus, I could be one of them.
Absolutely, and I'm sure you're expecting to be, as is Curt Cignetti expecting that as well. And seeing what he's able to do with quarterbacks, how important is that? You're going to have a different quarterback after this year, most likely, because Fernando is probably going to go to the NFL.
Right.
But each year, he's had such great consistency with high-level quarterbacks at an elite level.
That just shows that, Cignetti know what he's doing. Having the quarterback from last year that went to the 49ers, and now Fernando, this just shows any quarterback can come in and just be elite. So if I'm a quarterback from anywhere, they still have Alberto and the guys they got now, but if I'm a quarterback from anywhere, I'm like, dang, I go to Indiana. That's good.
And how shocking is it to you, to your system, to I'm sure before 3 months ago, Indiana was not even a blip on your radar, probably. And to see how things change in life so fast. And a lot of times when we think changes are bad, and it can end up being the best thing that ever happened to you. But with all this change that has happened, what's it been like for you going through this whirlwind?
Just making me open my eyes more. Seeing Franklin get fired, it made me, come to myself and be like, I got to make a decision based off of like what's best for me now. Back then Penn State was my dream school at the time, but I think in the spring, Coach Shanahan, that's the offensive coordinator, he had came up to the school and offered me, and like ever since then they just never been off me. And whenever Coach Franklin got fired, that was like I'm gonna say it was a little easier for me to pull away from Penn State, and look more into Indiana, and that's just what it's been.
And what's it like having to navigate these waters of college athletics and college football now with all these changes, with the NIL, rev share, and the ability to transfer? I mean, there's a lot on your mind all the time. Hopefully, I know that most guys would love to get to a place and stay there for, whether it's 2, 3, 4 years, whatever. They'd love to be able to stay in one place. Doesn't always happen, but with all of this craziness that's going around, how hard has it been during the recruiting process when you've got all that other stuff swimming?
So having an agent, that helps a little bit. It pulls away from me from having conversations about all the things that I don't have to have. But it's just another thing on your mind. You just gotta be able to handle everything. You gotta be able to like look into things, compare things and see what's best for you. And that's basically what how I took my recruitment process.
And you could have gone anywhere, obviously. Very high end recruited receiver. What was it? What is it about Indiana that pulled you? What is it about Indiana that sold you?
So everybody probably gonna think, oh, because Indiana won 12 games, this, that. For me, it's not that. It's just the culture. The culture they have up there. Everybody play for each other. And that's something I like, and I can compare that to DeMatha. And it's also a winning culture, That's one thing we want to do. Our goal every year should be trying to go to the national championship and win it, Not just go to a regular bowl game with 5 wins. Like, no, that's not the mindset that I would have bringing it to Indiana. But just also looking into Indiana is just, it's the scheme, I like how Coach Shanahan and Coach Cignetti use their guys, their receivers. That's, pretty much not that big, but just guys that could be playmakers, and I always wanted just the opportunity that I could go show my playmaking.
And have you been able to, become, I don't want to say friends, but acquaintances with some of the guys that are on the team now that are probably going to be here next year, that are going to be your teammates? And have you been able to start trying to establish relationships with any of these guys?
Yes, sir. So Davion Chandler, the freshman that just scored his first touchdown against Purdue, that was my host going up there. But Byron Baldwin, he's from Baltimore, basically the DMV. So we already had ties, and it was easy for me to bond. C3, Zach, Bill, all them guys. I'm cool with, and Charlie Becker as well, Alberto, Fournette, like all of them. So, just looking at that, it's already a brotherhood. When I first got there in the summer, it already felt like a brotherhood. Like. And then how when people meet new people be shy, and it's like with them, I was already outburst, I was already laughs and giggles. It felt like this automatically, Even when I didn't even flip on the OV date, they still stayed in touch with me. You got guys that be like, they only talk to their guys on the host, but nah, Davion and Byron, they stayed in touch with me throughout the whole time. Even if they just calling me to just check up, calling me to like see how I did in my game, that was that. So this thing's more than just, Indiana football.
And I know next man up is a phrase that is used, and some people may think, whatever, but it's actually true. And that guy this year, Charlie Becker, had the opportunity to step up, and my gosh, this dude was making unbelievable plays, but he got the opportunity. Look in the running backs room, Kobe Martin, a freshman, because his defense goes down and he steps up, and man, look at what he's been able to do. So it looks like you're going to get the opportunities at some time, but it can come at any time. But you have to be ready for that. But you're going to ultimately have those opportunities at Indiana, it looks like.
Yeah, most definitely. Just looking at Charlie Becker, that really just seeing him his first game when he first came in, just make some plays. I was like, oh. But then when he fully started against Penn State, I'm like, oh my God. Like, Charlie was just making plays that he making practice. You know them. They always tell him he always been making them plays, But just seeing him do it on the field, it just shows that Indiana have the wide receiver you. Just looking at Charlie, just make the crazy catches and always showing up like Wisconsin as well. Like just looking at him just go out there and just dominate. It just shows that like, we have a crazy receiver room. Surratt, Coop. Now people can say Charlie now, and easily. So like looking at that,
and soon Lavar. So
yes, sir.
'Cause I know you're looking forward to getting your name in there, wide receiver you, and being a part of making that, because that you guys sell each other on that, and the success sells each other. And of course, you're going to be watching Indiana as they travel throughout the remainder of the season. Next game up, coming up, the Big Ten Championship. I know you're looking forward to playing in these kinds of big games, which you have always been. But, man, we're talking Big Ten Championship and then the college football playoffs. I know you're in high school right now, but you're a year away from being in that type of situation. That's got to be mind-boggling and just crazy awesome at the same time.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome to me because, like you said, I'm a year away from all this, Next year around this time, let's hope that, we're in the same – we're going to be in the same predicament, playing against Ohio State probably again. And it's going to be us again. We're going to play Indianapolis again. And then just playing in the playoffs, being able to play in the Rose Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, any bowl that's, top notch. That's just a blessing, And it's just more way to just go out there and show the world what you're about.
What watching the Indiana's wide receivers, who is there any of them that kind of reminds you is like, oh man, I like how what his game I kind of reminds me of me. Do you see yourself in any of those guys specifically, whether it's Omar or Elijah or Charlie or whomever?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Omar Cooper. Omar Cooper ain't the biggest out there, but he has heart and desire. He's just a dog. And I look back at it like looking at the plays Omar make. Like it's something similar to me what I do in high school.
What was your emotions and your expressions like? What happened when you saw the play, the throw, the catch that Indiana at Penn State to win the game? I mean, one of the most exciting moments of the entire college football season. But I'm sure you were watching that game, and if not, you saw it on replay instantly. What was your first reaction when you saw that?
So, just to give you a little story. So I'm at my brother's game, and I'm watching the game in the stands on my phone. My phone is on 5%, so it's just dying. Like it's dying. So I seen Charlie catch on when he made the fade catch, and I seen an incomplete pass. That's when it cut off. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'm over here like, what should I do? What can I do? So I went to my mom. I just FaceTime my coaches that the number she got. I'm like, is any of y'all watching the game? Any of y'all watching the game? And the whole time I'm in my head like, hold on, Indiana's driving, but anything can happen. You never know. So I FaceTime my OC, Coach Luke, and he said, did you see the catch? I'm like, what you talking about? I didn't see it here. I'm like, what you talking about? He flipped the camera, and it's Omar live in the air in slow motion now, coming down. Mind you, I didn't know if the feet was in yet. I didn't know nothing. His foot was in. That's when he got pushed out by Zaki, and I'm like, oh my, I'm really jumping around. I feel like if I was in the stands while I was watching, I would have been screaming. Like, but I was so shocked. I was so shocked.
I don't think you were alone, Lavar. I don't think you were alone. What an incredible finish that was. And I know you're looking forward to being a part of those things yourself. And I know the Indiana fans are looking forward to that as well, man. I cannot thank you enough. Look forward to seeing you and hopefully talking to you again. I'm sure you'll be keeping up with the Hoosiers as they travel throughout the postseason.
Most definitely. I'm excited for these guys.
Lavar, thank you, brother. I appreciate you very, very much. Good luck.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
You betcha. Lavar Keys joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. More coming up. Back with it right after these messages. Andy Moore Honda is Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer for a reason. Buy a new Honda and get a 3-month break from car payments. That's right, no payments for 90 days. That includes the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue, and you get it for just 0.9% financing. Or the 2024 Honda Ridgeline Black Edition or the Honda Accord LX, both for just 1.9% financing. Get more to your door from AndyMooreHonda.com, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer and your best place for new and used vehicles. If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemooreSells@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today.
Huddle up, football fans. Tailgate season is here, and nobody gets you ready for game day like Academy Sports and Outdoors. Swing by your local Academy store or shop online at academy.com to find everything you need, from grills to jerseys and more. Be a watch party legend with gear from top brands like Nike and Under Armour, all at unbeatable prices every day. With 8 Academy stores across Indiana, including our Bloomington location, fun can't lose, and neither can you. Gear up today at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Zach Browning here to tell you about an offer you simply can't pass up. If you're looking for the best coverage of Indiana football and basketball, which includes recruiting, weekly chats, podcasts, as well as access to the best national team out there, then look no further than thehoosier.com. The best part, it's just $1 for the first week. Oh, and did I mention that you get a full year of access to The Athletic when you sign up? You can't beat the coverage, and you can't beat the deal. So head over to thehoosier.com today and sign up for just $1. It'll be the best decision you ever made.
I alluded to it in the beginning of whether it be possible to go to 12-0 at Indiana, I'm assuming. But as you look around the landscape, there's not very many 12-0 teams. How difficult is it, period, to go 12-0 in college football today, much less in the Big Ten?
It's really hard, and especially at the P4 level. Man, I think there's only about 5 Big Ten teams that have gone undefeated in the regular season since 2000. So 26 years, 26 years. Ohio State a couple times, Michigan once, Oregon once. Other than that, that's it. Indiana now, add them to the list.
Add them to the list. That's Coach Curt Cignetti after the game against Purdue the other day. But listen to the difference. I know that was hard to hear. We were not able to have mic hookups that day, but this is the same situation with Fernando. And again, this is Fernando just being Fernando, same exact setup.
We'll go to Zach and then Matt.
How do you allow yourself perspective on this? Because I know you're always thinking about what's next, and I understand you're going to be waiting to see who you play in Indy in 8 days. But do you as players allow yourselves that moment to just sort of say, hey, whatever we accomplish from here, we've made history, we've done something historic, we've done something exceptionally difficult, and we've done it together?
Yeah, I think there's definitely that moment, especially tonight, of wow, we're 12-0. I know that all the players on the team had the expectation to go 1-0 each week, but it all culminated together, like Rome said, is truly special to be 12-0. However, at the same point, it's such a good opportunity to be 12-0 because now I'm assuming we're in the Big Ten championship, and I'm assuming if we play well, then we can get locked in for the college football playoff. And all of us, everybody on the team, coaches, sports staff, players, we've all worked our entire lives to get to this point. So at this point, it's not like complacency, oh yeah, we're 12-0, great. We got to keep on going harder, and we got to train harder because this is just such a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that we have ahead of us.
Yeah, like he said, just honestly piggybacking off of him, we have a lot more that we feel like we can accomplish. So, we're being happy that we're in this situation, blessed by God to be where we are. But, ultimately, we want to keep doing it, and we want to keep stacking wins. So we'll channel the celebration to kind of put it forward to how we can be better and get to the next level.
Great statements from both Fernando Mendoza and Roman Hemby, the running back. My point was showing you the difference just between the sound and how quiet Curt Cignetti is generally become now in speaking, because the setups right there were the exact same. And at some points,
in that Fernando was even leaning back further away from us. So just proving a point about the audio there, but also some great sound from those guys. I've got to say, today's athletes, not just Indiana's, so many places, these guys are so well-spoken, women as well. When I say guys, that's everyone, all-inclusive guys. Sorry. They're so well-spoken for the most part. I'm like, damn, I was a dumbass compared to these people, and still am probably, but are you not amazed on, but I guess that's like everything else in life. Things change, things get better, equipment gets better, your communication skills get better, but that's not the case for everybody. Not everybody has great communication skills. It's just not easy because it's just not easy for some because it's an emotional thing. But good gosh, you look at some guys like Fernando, and not a problem for him. And it's kind of ironic because there have been so many times where many athletes were not good speakers because they weren't adept at being in front of people and speaking in front of people, yet they could perform at elite levels of their particular sports in front of people without an issue. But speaking is a different deal altogether. But no, fun stuff, man. And it's been a fun stuff. Hey, before I forget as well, Saturday, a huge day. A couple of things. But Saturday, a huge day. Of course, Indiana basketball taking on the Louisville Cardinals. Top 10 matchup there with the Cardinals, and that's going to be the toughest challenge for Indiana basketball this season, without question. Toughest challenge for Indiana football this season, without question. Is that night, Indiana football taking on Ohio State, of course, for the Big Ten championship in football. Indiana there starts out at Cambridge. Then we're going to do a basketball post-game show / football pregame show at Clayton's Country Bar there in Indianapolis, kind of right there by Cambridge. And I don't know, it's probably ultimately 4 blocks from Lucas Oil, but it's all right there in that downtown area. But we'll be there after the game to do that, after the basketball game, and, of course, before the football game. So come out and join us. Probably going to have a bunch of koozies to give away, commemorating this 12-0 number 1 versus number 2 extraordinaire. Also, don't forget to get yourself a subscription to thehoosier.com to keep up with all things that are going on with Indiana recruiting, Indiana news, inside information, because when you do, you get entered to win free Adidas merch. Nice jackets, quarter zips, all kinds of great stuff. Man, just fun day as well. Boy, how about the fun? I wish we could have, I don't know if my heart could take it, but spirited debates like that with Mike each week, because I know we could, because for one thing, like I said, I could argue either side. I may not be able to do it successfully, but I can argue either side of something generally. But today our conversation was about Lane Kiffin, and do I have a problem with the situation? Yeah, it sucks. It's terrible. But do I blame Lane Kiffin for it? No, I'm sorry, I don't. So what was he supposed to wait till next year when Ole Miss goes, 2-10, and all of a sudden LSU says, you know what, I think we're going to look here instead. No, man. I mean, he thinks he has the best opportunity to win at the highest level for the longest run at LSU. It's that simple. But again, I'm arguing something right now that has no one to argue back. So that's not quite fair. That's just spouting my opinion, which is okay. Everybody's got one, right? Give the keys to Lavar, baby. Uh-oh. I see what you did there. How about that? Speaking of well-spoken young athletes, man, that was a lot of times you do those interviews with recruits and they're okay. I mean, hell, there's been players that I've had on that were just brutal. It was like pulling teeth. You know, one word responses, 2-3 word responses. It's like, wow, this is going to be tough. So no, anytime you have someone that is well-spoken like that, and that leads to the type of person they are as well. So looking forward to that. Always enjoy talking to the guys that are early on in their careers. They're looking forward to everything. How excited is he got to be, along with the rest of them? But I'm just saying, since you just spoke with him. But Russell says that LSU is a football program. What do you mean? I guess he's not. Are you saying all football programs are lawless? I mean, he's, I guess, responding to someone that I missed the beginning of. After 3 years of sheer misery, what will Ole Miss pay out to Lane be? They don't have to pay him anything. He's getting paid. That's for daggone sure. But hey, that's on LSU. It cracks me up too. I mean, think about the money. The money. LSU. They're on the hook for the was it 53 or 4 million? I can't remember exactly what's one of those two, but like 53 or $4 million to Brian Kelly and his family. I've already thought about this. It would be so on brand for Lane Kiffin to open up his introduction to the LSU audience, which will probably come at a basketball game, by saying, I want to thank y'all for being so friendly and welcoming to me and my family. That would be funny. I don't care who you are. Man. Well, we got lots to get back to tomorrow. We're back to do it again, and I can't wait. Indiana's on the hardwood tomorrow night. We'll talk about all that and much more. Appreciate you. Until then, I'm Jim Coyle. Go out and have yourselves a good day cleaning off the snow. Until then, I will see you on the radio.
Thanks for listening to Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page for more clips and team coverage of Indiana basketball, football, and more. You can also find full episodes and tons of other content on thehoosier.com. We'll see you next time for another edition of Indiana Sports Beat Radio.